Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are recording the very first episode of Red Corner Conversations. I'm Andrew Whitelaw, Luke Macdonald joining me. You'll know him as MC Luke. I know him as MC Luke, or just Luke for the purposes of this show. How's it going, mate?
Formerly,
Really good to see
usually known amongst, in the community as MC Luke, but Luke Macdonald. Indeed.
Good to see you, man.
Nice
and
to,
you
nice
are
to
in
see everyone,
Phnom
and
Penh
nice to
right
be
now,
here.
right?
Nice to see you again, Andrew.
You're in the glorious Cambodian capital as we speak. Is that correct?
Indeed, I am in the Kingdom of Wonder, Phnom Penh, at this moment in time. Just having a bit of a down day before, of course, this weekend's festivities that we get to look forward to every weekend. Another weekend full of fights.
Yeah, you are a hard-working man, always busy. Busy is good, especially when you get to do the kind of thing we get to do, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to start this. We're not live on this occasion, but me and Luke have been chatting. We had a really nice meet-up at his burger joint, which you should definitely check out. Glorious burgers in Phnom Penh. We had a lovely
Burger
chat
Shack.
because, shout out, amazing place. So go and check that out. But we've got a lot in common, both coming from England and both had the pleasure of kind of falling in love with the sport of Kun Khmer, and Cambodia had created some incredible memories in recent times. So we wanted to start this show as an avenue for English language people to get to know and also fall in love with the sport of Kun Khmer and get to know some stories surrounding the sport and the characters involved in Cambodia. So we're going to be doing this show. We're going to be going live on YouTube, and you'll be able to see some of the highlights on Luke's TikTok and across Instagram and all that stuff. But you're always doing exciting things, Luke. You're always having adventures, so there'll be lots to talk about and lots of interesting people to have on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky in the respect that I get to. I'm in the ring most weekends, pretty much every Saturday with KKAF, the Kun Khmer International Fight Federation, also the gym. So I'm very lucky to work with Okna Srishanton, who's the CEO and the head of KKIF. And I've been working with him with KKIF now since December. Yes, it's gone so fast. So I'm very lucky. I'm in the ring every weekend, announcing and presenting. So I'm not just your Bruce Buffer, I'm also your presenter as well for the English viewers. Because as you just so eloquently put, it is, Kun Khmer is such a fantastic sport, but there's not enough English coverage on it. And as we all, everyone watching, I assume, is a fan of combat sports in one way or another. I can say wholeheartedly, I think Joe Rogan put it perfectly on his podcast. The best part is the stand-up game. And with Kun Khmer, be it Kun Khmer, be it Muay Thai, be it Lithuania, and be in Myanmar, these are stand-up. These are two guys, going at it toe to toe. There's no ground game. This is the best part of combat sports, and these guys are elite athletes. And it's such a pleasure and an honor to be kind of, the English face of it, and especially at this moment in time where Cambodia we are really, really pushing the cultural heritage of Kun Khmer, because a lot of it did get lost in the history, as I'm sure you know some parts about yourself, Andrew.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, December, wow, that time has flown by, right? It's funny because I got into the sport almost exactly the same time. I've been covering combat sports for a while now, over 10 years. I think I first fell in love with combat sports via MMA when I first watched John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. And that because I had an opportunity to interview Alexander Gustafsson, who's my age. And I watched that fight, and the hairs on my arm sort of stood up, and I sort of got it. My mother's a drama teacher. I really got the theater of it all, just two gladiators leaving everything in the ring. And, afterwards they had a photo in hospital together. So from that day, I was hooked on the theater of combat sport, that two guys or women, they shake hands and they agree to fight a certain time in a certain place under a certain rule set. And then when it's all said and done, they shake hands afterwards. There's an honor and a history and respect in it. And then from that,
there's a true respect.
It branched out for me. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge film fan. I was always in love with Rocky and those kind of huge, high stakes drama, spectacle films that were embedded in combat sports. So I ended up commentating on boxing, on Muay Thai, on Letway. I was the World Letway Championship commentator over in Myanmar before the trouble over there, and that was incredible. And through that, I met a gentleman called Dave Leduc, and I commentated on his retirement fight alongside Robin Black. So that was his, I think that was his retirement fight at the time. And he beat Seth Baczynski, UFC alumni, in stunning fashion, and it was a great spectacle. And then Dave became a promoter, and I'd interviewed him many times, and we became friends. And he invited me to commentate on his fight promotion in Slovakia. What an adventure. So I went over there, commentated on some savage Letway fights, amazing MMA in like an old motorcycle museum, is like something out of Mortal Kombat. And the relationship, it continued. And then, before I know it, Dave is fighting his proper retirement fight against a gentleman we all know and love as Prom Samnang.
The one and only.
Exactly. The main man in Cambodia. And this fascinated me. And interestingly, it was, look, we can't pay you, but it's my retirement fight, and I'd really love there to be English commentators, and I want it to be you. And what an honor for somebody to ask that of you.
Awesome.
So I said, let's go. And we did that, and it was 40,000 people. It was a draw, but Dave, his performance was very convincing. As we know, there's a lot to talk about what happened in the aftermath of that.
That whole fight in itself, it will go down in history. And it is, again, and this, again, I think goes back to the reason why we want to do this kind of Red Corner Conversations, because the sheer high level of the combat sports here in Cambodia is an elite level. These are just some incredible fights that we get to witness every weekend, and the more we can highlight it and show it to the world and give you some kind of more of an idea of actually what's going on, then you get to know characters such as, Dave Leduc. For those who don't know him, he's an incredible fighter. He's been in some matchups which will go down in history, but will never be seen by a lot of the Western world. Fighters like Prom Samnang as well, just an absolute living legend here in Cambodia. And there are characters such as Chan Ratana, who made it to one championship. He is known, but these are sports figures who I feel the Western world really needs to know more about. Not just the sportsmen themselves and the sportswomen, but Kun Khmer and the culture around it and the fan base around it. And these leagues here in Cambodia, it's such a spectacle, and the fan base and the Cambodian people. Like you said, your event, you commentated Dave's and Samnang's fight. I can only imagine what the atmosphere of that would have been like. I mean, how would you describe the Cambodian Kun Khmer fan base, Andrew?
Yeah, well, it got me. It completely took me. It took me by surprise. It was like a wave, and it was like something I've never experienced and probably haven't experienced since I went back again. I was completely taken, and the relationship with the fans was just very, very authentic. You get a lot of people in life who aren't very authentic, but the love that they have for the sport and the warmth that they have for guests in their country, visitors. I'm a total visitor. I was totally new to the sport, and I love spectacle, as I said, but I like the high octane. I like the history, and I like the entertainment of it, and I like the high octane violence at times. The elbows, the pace. It's from start to finish, furious pace, unbelievably entertaining. It's everything that you find in the greatest moments of films like Rocky that I mentioned earlier that made me start to fall in love as a really, really young kid with combat sports. Kun Khmer delivers all of that drama, your underdog stories, your heroes, your tunteras, from the entrances to the fireworks, to the fans, to the looks on the faces of the young kids ringside, to the excitement that you see from people like me going, what am I witnessing here? This is incredible. I'm standing, I'm screaming at what I'm watching. And that is, for people who spend most of their lives in an office, they never even get to touch that, let alone be front row center and be a part of it. It's a great honor.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we did a show down in. We had an event in Sihanoukville. For those who don't know Sihanoukville, it's a coastal town, and this was when we had I believe it was at Rindawid. Rindawid, fantastic fighter. It was a Sea Games medalist. I don't want to quote which medal. But the crowd we had, and it was right down on the by the beach with a huge area, and we literally had must have been 20,000 people. We had people climbing up trees just to get a good look at, this local champion, Rindawid, and what a fighter he is. For those, again, another name that people should know. Another one you just mentioned as well, Turn Tira, of course. Turn Tira is another legend, and they're just such fantastic fighters that they need more of to be noticed overseas. And yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's a spectacle. And for myself, I mean, I come from like you love movies. I come from an acting background, so this is how I ended up um doing kind of emceeing. Here we are, it's Tuntira.
Well, it's really interesting that you come from an acting background because, as I mentioned, like I think, we're all products of where we came from, and maybe it's our parents, our brothers and sisters. And I think the fact that my mother was a drama teacher and my dad loved sport, those two things really impacted me. And Tuntera came onto my radar on that first Dave Leduc fight. He got an amazing knockout against a former KSW featherweight MMA champion. KSW as an MMA fan was something that was on my radar. And I had no idea who Tuntera was. But the moment that he walked out, I took notice. There's
He has a
something I
presence
always look
about him.
for. Oh, he does. There's something I always look for. It's an X factor. Every sport needs a star, and Tuntira for me is that star. He is. I
He's the
don't
whole
mind in
package.
saying, oh, he's my favorite fighter. I don't mind saying that. It's how I feel because he brings everything, the whole package. Exactly right.
He is the whole package, and I think and at this moment in time, he is really at the forefront of being a huge face for the sport. And I can only imagine the pressure he's under as a fighter every time he gets in the ring. There's a lot of pressure on him, and his fan base is so dedicated. I mean, to the point, when he changes his haircut, it's like the David Beckham effect in like the early thousands. When David Beckham changed his haircut,
Yeah.
everyone
Oh,
changed
it
their
was
haircut the
massive
same.
when David Beckham got a new haircut. It was almost front page news, wasn't it? Do you know
And
what I
it's
love
the
though? You
same
talk
with
about the pressure.
Tintira
Look at
here. It's
Yeah, look at the way he smiles in there, the swagger that he brings. I think that's what makes him who he is. And I think you talk to like female fans, he's got legions of them, almost like Son Heung-min
okay.
in
Yeah, I mean,
Korea.
I wasn't gonna say, but yeah, they come in droves.
Oh, I've got an
In
advert. Apologies
droves.
for
Yeah,
that.
that's all right.
But yeah, look,
Nice little lad.
we do want to kind of draw attention to some of these guys. I do find it frustrating, I must say, Luke, having given that glimpse, and then I'm telling all my friends, I'm telling people in the community, in the industry about this guy and why they should take notice. And then we see English commentary just disappear. I think Tuntira's last 5 fights have not had any English commentary. And I have to say, and I'm sure there are reasons for that, primarily budgets, maybe, but of course I'm going to push for English commentary. I've definitely got a stake here.
Mhm.
The last Tuntira fight I did was, I think, the Kun Khmer World Cup, where the guy fought 3 men in one night and
Yeah,
won
yeah.
himself a big car. It was incredible. And he finished it with
Yes,
a
I mean,
knockout.
again, these kind of these matchups happen regularly. We have 4-man tournaments, 6-man tournaments. Again, like these things aren't really heard of so much in the West. And these guys are going, you know, be it 3 3-minute rounds, but sometimes, 3 times within the space of, a couple of hours. These are gladiators. And and at the end of it, what we're seeing now, which just kind of leads into my next point, which I do want to make. We're seeing now true reward for the fighters. we're seeing large purses. We're seeing potential, to win a car. Tuntira was gifted a condo or apartment, I believe, by a sponsor. So there's really, really great opportunity now for the fighters. But the big problem we only have so many fighters. And a lot of these fighters are fighting very, very regularly. And we know what happens when fighters fight too regularly, don't we, Andrew?
Well, yeah, if they get injured or you don't see the highest level. I mean, fatigue, and also
Exactly.
they've got no time to train, to recover.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's
And
tough. I mean, it's cool from a fan's perspective, right? Because I mean, Tuntera is fighting once a month, maybe more at times, right? At the moment.
a little less recently, but at a time, yeah. I mean, even Brom Nang, he's fighting around once a month, which, even once a month is regular. It's regular,
Can I
especially in a
ask?
sport like Kun Khmer. It's
Massively,
brutal.
and like you're going to eat some elbows. So
Yeah.
this being our first show, we just wanted it to be fairly short and sweet and give you guys an introduction to who we are and what we're doing here. So our plan is to go live. What we would love to do is to take your questions live. So both of us, I think, massively appreciative and have this incredible relationship with Kun Khmer fans and really want to help push this sport beyond Cambodia because it deserves
beyond
it, right?
Cambodia
So
on a global scale.
massively. So what we're going to do is we're going to be having guests. We're going to be taking your questions. On Facebook, I've received an enormous amount of love and I'm seeing all of your comments. And I am currently locked out of my Facebook. So I'm able to see them and I'm not able to respond to them. So it's important to me that you know that they mean an awful lot to me. And I do want a platform where I can actually address some of the things that you're asking. So that's a big thing as well. I hopefully eventually will get back in there. But in the meantime, get amongst Luke's TikTok if you want to give that handle a shout out. So I'm loving your
there's
content
so many
there.
exciting things happening at the moment. I mean, I can show you right now. I mean, just yesterday, we had Chung Levai, his ring, better known as the Black Dragon. Okay, so yesterday he was in Hong Kong at it's the E01. It's called the E01, which has been running around since 2005, 2006, I believe. And we had the team. We had Chung Vai and Sokti head over with KKIF team, and we had Chung Vai victorious for the second time in Hong Kong. So we have a shot here. If we can, I don't know if we can bring this up. There we are. There he is. Chung Vai taking the belt last night against an Italian by the name of Luca Lombardo. Chung Vai for me is just very much like Tuntira. He's the whole package. He's in the ring. You can see he's enjoying every moment. He's loving it. He's got that smile on his face. He's got his name. The women adore him. His fan base come out in droves. This is his second time in Hong Kong representing, his second win. And this is his second belt. This is the Supreme belt. The last time he won the E01 belt. And now we can see the Cambodian flag featured on the belt, which it wasn't before, which is amazing. So we have more representation of Kun Khmer globally. So we're seeing this a lot more and a lot more, which is really, really nice. And what we have here, we have the team. We have the team at the Cambodian embassy, I believe. Oh, sorry, these are the guys leaving on the escalators.
His opponent is very legit. I commentated on him in Phuket about 6 years ago. He's very good. So
it was a very good fight. It was a really, really good fight. It was last night. Sadly, Sokti Kaka, he sadly lost on points. And it was down to the first round that really kind of let him down. But after that, he was really strong. But Chung Levai came back with his second win. There's the team. There's Okna Srey Shanton in the middle. and that's at the Cambodia embassy. And we have also joined by Samnop, who's a very prominent promoter here in Cambodia. And on the right, you can see Richbot, who also works here at KKIF. And yeah, there's there with the belt, proudly presented at the embassy in Hong Kong. And Okno Sreichanton, I must say, he's a man of few words, but he does such wonderful, wonderful things for the sport. And bearing in mind, KKIF has only existed really as a league since it was December 24th, end of December, with our first event. And the changes and the champions he's created in such a short amount of time is quite incredible. So not just as he's the head of my federation, he's my boss, but he's very much an inspiration in the sport. And what he's doing at the moment is fantastic. And he's always there behind the scenes or at the front, the forefront of any situation. He's willing to help and he's willing to push Kun Khmer to the world. So again, if you don't follow me, also follow Okno Sreichanton on Facebook for the most up-to-date KKIF news in particular. So again, that's one person I did want to say a massive shout out to. And finally, I did want to say, Andrew, there's a lot of people I do think are overlooked. Well, not overlooked, but kind of forgotten in a way. And that's people like Pumsorai. We also have like Law Samnang. So here's a short little video of the guys. And these are what the Cambodians will call, your seniors. Okay. So on the left, we have Pumsorai. On the right, we have Law Samnang. These are two of the coaches and senior fighters at KKIF. It's people like these who really paved the way for the fighters that we have today. And if it weren't for people like Pumsorai, Law Samnang, Keorom Chang, I must say a huge shout out to Keorom Chang, who used to do fight in RWS Thai fight, incredible. Another senior. These guys still in the ring. They still probably fight around once a month. And it is a pleasure to watch them fight because they are truly just masters of the sport. Pumsorai, he kind of incorporates quite acrobatic, more like Ibokata style into his fight, into his fighting style. Law Samnang, as you can see, he's literally there's not an ounce of fat on the man, and he is like a ninja in the ring. And these are considered seniors, and I would put them up against some of the A-level young fighters coming out at the moment. They probably run rings around them, and it's people like these that if we did not have them in the days when they weren't getting paid the purses that the fighters are getting paid today, we still have to remember them. And I feel there needs to be some sort of foundation. There needs to be some more investment in these, not just as coaches, but true masters and their knowledge of the sport and the history of and everything of it. We need them to be more engaged in my eyes as well and not forgotten. It's quite sad to see sometimes, a fighter, and this is not just here in Cambodia, it's in Thailand, it's in Myanmar, who in his day was, a star. And now, they're doing everything they can to try and, feed their family. And it's just like, wow. But now you see some fighters, they're doing their first fight and they're walking away with $1,000 purse.
And I hope this is kind of the dawn of a new era, because it's something that we see at all levels of combat sports, whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, Kun Khmer. We often see people who are world champions, who were the absolute pinnacle, and the sport and society, the world, leaves them to the side. They don't get the reverence that they deserve. So there's things that people can do in the industry. And look, what can we do? We talk about the sport. So what's in our power
Yeah.
to do? Well, we can talk about it. And that's one of the reasons why we want to do this show, to engage with everybody involved and to engage with people who might be casual fans, who might be interested in some of these stories. And also as an opportunity to educate myself. I'm very new to this sport. There's a handful of fighters who are on my radar who've taken my attention because they stand out. Because
Who to you? Who is on your radar at the moment? Who is your current one that you've got your eye on? Because I know who my current favorite to watch is.
Well, I don't want to go overboard on Tuntira because for me he stands apart as number one because he has everything that I look for in terms of how he carries himself, entertainment value, star power, the acts, everything. He's got everything. Who else? I'm really interested in Amarin Putong. The first fight I saw him fight was on that evening of the Kun Khmer World Cup. And actually, it wasn't his best performance. I think he won a decision, but he was fighting a very good opponent. And he's still developing. He's still young. He's still raw. He's from kind of Kun Khmer royalty, right? His father, Putong, was called the Muhammad Ali of Kun Khmer.
The
but
A
on
family
his last,
carries a lot of weight in the Kun Khmer world,
100%.
indeed. Yeah.
And what about that gym as well? Same gym as Tuntera. So it's a very exciting kind of hotbed for the sport at the moment. But the last show I did, the Hanuman show, the first Hanuman show, Manny Pacquiao in the audience, lots of drama, the whole Dave Leduc, Thiago fiasco. It was all happening.
We won't
and
go
it was
there.
Great. It was great to be there because I'd been kind of campaigning to get back to Cambodia. I'd had like the best experience of my life. I got all the fans saying, "When are you back?" And I was like, "Trust me, I want to come back." And then finally, I got the call and I jumped at the opportunity. And now it seems like all doors are open. So yeah, Amarin Putong is the answer because on that occasion he fought twice. He won himself a world title. And the first, he put away both his opponents. One of them was like 3 knockdowns. One of them was just a stunning knockout. That for me, to do that on that stage, the rain had been falling, the atmosphere was there, world title on the line, and he stepped up.
He's a lean, mean machine, man. Yeah,
and he's getting better.
Yeah,
he's getting
cool.
better
He's
every
super
time
cool,
you
and
see
he's
him.
got a cool attitude. He's very, very likable. And his brother as well. I mean, anyone under that umbrella is a fantastic fighter. It's always very interesting to see who's going to come out of the A camp.
So who do you pick out, or have we already said it?
Okay, so of course, I mean, again, I don't want to say the obvious. Like I've mentioned Chung Lawai, I've mentioned Sokti Kakar, Rindawid, 3 of my favorite fighters to watch. But currently, I just have so much fun, not just announcing this young man, but watching him fight, announcing his name. Again, the whole package, Gan Meng Hong, also known, we can call him as Hanuman Bong Dinit, which is like the small monkey king. Okay, Gan Meng Hong recently, as you can see, now picked up a sponsorship with Works, the energy drink. He is dynamite, absolute dynamite, very much like Pum Sarai. Incorporates a lot of more acrobatic styles into when the moments where he can really push and he sees that moment where he can pull it off. We'll see some like Ibokatao style in his martial arts. For those who aren't familiar with the Ibokatao, it's more of an Angkorian traditional ancient martial arts. So we can see a lot more acrobatic kind of kicks and stuff like this. Not only that, he's hilarious. His attitude towards the sport and the fights, the respect, and he's fun. You can see he's genuinely having a great time, and he's so good. So yeah, again, the full package, the full package.
You've got to be good.
And
You've got to be able
I'm not
to
going to
win
ruin
your
it,
fights,
but search one of his fights, and how he celebrates is one of my favorite parts of the fight. It's great. Yeah. So yeah, Gan Meng Hong. Yes, he is one to watch, definitely.
Love it. And again, like it's fantastic to draw attention to these fighters because people who love the sport and love martial arts are in for something special.
I've lost your sound, Andrew.
Sorry about that. So to finish off, what are you looking forward to? What have you got on the menu at the moment? What's coming up for you?
So of course this weekend we just had a weekend break due to our huge fight happening in Hong Kong. We had one of our other fighters in Vietnam last week, also came back victorious. This weekend live from 6 at the KKIF Arena in Choi Cheng Va, Phnom Penh. We have 5 Cambodian matchups, 2 international matchups. We have a Chinese fighter, and we have Henry Johnson, a Liberian fighter. I'm excited for this because this is, he's got to really prove himself. I'm going to be speaking to him before the fight. So again, if you follow me on TikTok, if you don't follow me on Facebook, you'll be able to catch my chat with him before the fight. There's a bit of controversy around him at the moment due to him not showing up to a fight. As we know, that's so this is it's gonna be an interesting one. He's, I've announced him 2 or 3 times before. He's got some big heavy hands. He's concrete. And now he's been training at KKIF. I think he's been able to hone much more of a technique. So I'm really excited to see his performance on Saturday, because it's kind of a make it or break it situation for Mr. Johnson on Saturday. So I'm excited to not just announce it, to be there for it. How about yourself?
For me, I've also got an exciting one. I'm very much looking forward to. I've got Full Metal Dojo's 10th anniversary coming up on Sunday. Full Metal Dojo is, a close friend of mine, John Nutt, who you will know because he's commentated several shows. He's also
I've yet to
the
meet
main
him,
man in the
but
ring.
no, of course I know the name.
He's the main man in the ring for Fight Circus. If you've ever seen the viral videos of Blob Tang smoking, I don't know if it's a joint or a cigarette before entering the ring, it was shared by 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg. He got Tyson Fury to throw a birthday cake in his face on his birthday. He did Siamese boxing with Bob Sapp and Rampage Jackson. So he's one of the most unique men in the industry. So John Nutt is hosting Full Metal Dojo on Sunday, 10th anniversary show. Little Frog, Tarot Sam is going to be there. So I can't wait for that. I'm going to be on the mic. And then after that, the 11th to the 13th, we have the Asian MMA Championship,
cool.
The second edition.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, because I was going to bring that up myself. Yes, we do indeed.
Yeah. This is a very cool photo, I must say. It's an all-star squad. Look at them, the Cambodian team. Real point of interest is the inclusion of Thiago Teixeira. You know how much he loves Cambodia. He's obviously Brazilian, but he's going to be competing in MMA for Cambodia. That's a story. It's been mooted for a long time, and now it's finally happening. But we're going to be welcoming countries from all around Asia. It's 3 days at the Olympic Stadium. The Prime Minister's going to be there. It's a very big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. As we can see at the front there, Chan Ratana. And Thiago, I've been following his MMA training on Facebook, and I love watching Thiago fight. Again, he's a fantastic representative for the sport. The lengths that he goes to, he shows up. He's there. If he doesn't have to be there, he's going to be there. He's a great fighter, and I really hope he doesn't, leave Cambodia or anything like this. I hope he continues on the road and continues to represent, because I think he's doing a great job. He's a very likable guy. He's a great fighter. He's got a great history. So I hope the rumors aren't true. I'm not sure if you've heard, but I hope we won't be losing him and he won't be leaving. So if you can hear me, Thiago, please don't go. You're great. We'd love to see you continue competing, because you truly are a fantastic fighter. And it's always a pleasure to see you in the ring. And I hope to one day actually get to announce you, because I'm yet to do that.
Yeah, Thiago, this is his last fight, I think. Just savage elbows, and he's got so much passion for the sport, so much passion for everything that he does. Loves Cambodia, so really, really interested to see what he does at the Asian MMA Championships, and what an honor to be there. I can't wait to see how that all unfolds. That's going to be incredible. And for now, I think we're going to leave it there, Luke. So the message, guys,
before we go, let's just see our main man himself last night. A small highlight reel: Chung Levai in Hong Kong. This was against Luca Lombardo. This is just to highlight like what he can do. I mean, Chung Levai he's a big guy. He's tall. Look at the legs on him. He's got the reach of his arms and the reach of his legs, and his elbows are like razor blades. Okay, and this was last night in Hong Kong. And just a few moments from the fight. I mean, and throughout the 3 rounds,
lovely teep to the face.
Yeah,
those high kicks, just those fast twitch leg muscles just doing work.
Yeah. See, look at that elbow, that right. Wow. They got clinch control. Man, fantastic. Chung-gung. There's a knee. Just fantastic. He's just always on form. You know, there was a fight recently he lost, and you could see he wasn't himself. But watching him last night, you know, he was on form. He controlled the ring. He was in complete control the whole time. Again, fantastic teep. Corner control. Pushes him in. Here we go. Oh, what's he going to go? Oh, let's choose. No, go with a nice. It's like, shall I go? Shall I give him the elbow? No, exactly. Feinted him with the right, and then came in with a beautiful kick. And it was just the whole fight, just this maintained pace. He doesn't gas out. He's a machine. Whole package.
Quality. Thank you for sharing. That was a really cool angle of that. I love that. Feels so close to the action. I was lucky
enough. Yes, I've got to thank rights to Pum Samnang, one of the hardest young men in the industry over here in Cambodia. Thank you for that clip. He was there ringside. So,
what exciting times. We've got lots to look forward to, and exciting times on the horizon for this show. Red Corner Conversations, episode 1. Bit of history. Why not? Let's big it up, because it's going to be really exciting. We've got adventures to talk about, and hopefully it's going to involve all of you. So please comment below. What do you want us to talk about? Do you have questions for us? And what guests do you want to see? We're going to be going live for the next one. We're going to be going live, and we'll be taking your questions.
Who can we coax on?
Yes. So you can get me on Facebook, Andrew Whitelaw Sport, or Whitelaw Sport on Instagram. I know not everyone in Cambodia is on Instagram, but that's where I can interact with you right now. I'm sorting out my issues with Facebook. They're a nightmare to get hold of, but I can still post on Facebook. I can post on Facebook from Instagram, but I cannot comment on Instagram. Sometimes that's for the best, but if people are being like mean. But fortunately, everyone's like 99% super lovely on my comments, I must say. So thank you for that, guys.
Good. Well, yeah, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me as Luke MC Cambodia. You can also find me on TikTok, which I think is MC Luke Cambodia also. I'm pretty much like the only Barang announcer MC, so I'm pretty easy to find.
I will step up my TikTok game. It's also Whitelaw Sport. I've barely posted, so that needs to step up. But guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you on the next one. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Andrew, and we'll see you guys next time.